I have been watching you in the quiet hours when the rest of the world is asleep, and you are left alone with the secret you carry. I see the way you adjust your mask before you step out the door, the way you smile through the phantom ache, and the way you shield your heart from the gaze of others, fearing that if they truly saw the fragility beneath the surface, they might not understand. My beloved child, I have seen the tears you swallowed back in crowded rooms and the exhaustion that has become your constant companion. You have been carrying a condition, a weight in your body and a shadow in your spirit that you have hidden from even those closest to you. You thought you had to protect them from your struggle, or perhaps you feared that naming your pain would make it too real to bear. But I am here to tell you that nothing is hidden from my eyes, and nothing is beyond the reach of my restorative touch. I am the architect of your every cell, the weaver of your very breath, and I have felt every throb of discomfort and every wave of anxiety that has crashed against the shores of your soul. I know the financial worries that keep you pacing in the dark, the math that never quite adds up, and the crushing loneliness that makes you feel like an island in a vast, indifferent sea. But you are not alone, and you are not forgotten. Even now, in this sacred moment of stillness, I am moving within the very fabric of your being. I am entering those hidden chambers of your heart where you have stored your greatest fears. I am touching the parts of your body that you have learned to resent or ignore out of self-preservation. Can you feel the warmth of my presence beginning to permeate the cold spaces? This is not just a comfort, it is a transformation. I am commanding the atoms of your body to align with the blueprint of my perfection. The ailment you have nursed in secret is being dissolved by the light of my infinite love. I am the God of the impossible, the one who speaks life into the void, and I am speaking life into you right now. The financial storms that have threatened to drown your peace are being stilled by my hand. I own the cattle on 1,000 hills and the gold hidden in the depths of the earth. Do you not think I can provide for my own? Your lack is being replaced by my abundance, not because of what you have done, but because of who I am. I am your provider, your protector, and your physician. I am healing the fractures in your mind that were caused by years of worry and the sense of isolation that has made your world feel so small. I am expanding your horizons. I am bringing people into your life who will see you with my eyes, with compassion, without judgment, and with a love that mirrors my own. You do not have to hide anymore. The miracle you have been whispering for in the dark is arriving at the break of dawn. This healing is deep. It is more than just the absence of pain. It is the restoration of your joy, the renewal of your strength, and the rekindling of the fire that the world tried to extinguish. Do not look back at the years the locusts have eaten, for I am making all things new. Trust in the timing of this unfolding. Just as the flower does not struggle to bloom but simply opens to the sun, I want you to open your heart to me. Let go of the need to control the outcome or to understand the mechanics of my grace. Simply receive. Breathe in my peace. Breathe out the shame of your struggle. You are my masterpiece, and I am not finished with you yet. The secret you carried is no longer a prison. It is the catalyst for the greatest testimony of your life. People will look at you and wonder at the light in your eyes and the spring in your step, and you will tell them of the quiet miracle that happened when you finally let the Creator of the universe into your hidden places. I am with you in every heartbeat, in every whispered prayer, and in every step toward your bright, healed future. You are whole, you are provided for, and you are eternally loved. Rest now in the assurance that the work has already begun, and it shall be completed in glory. This is my promise to you, my precious child, and my word never returns void. Walk forward in the confidence that the heavy burden has been lifted, and in its place, I have given you my easy yoke and my light burden. You are free. As you step out into the morning air, can you feel the shift in the very atmosphere around you? It is not just the air that has cleared. It is the frequency of your soul. For so long, you moved through the world with a guarded posture, a subtle hunch of the shoulders as if to protect the tender place where your secret lived. You became an architect of shadows, building walls of "I am fine," and just tired to keep the world from seeing the infirmity you felt defined you. But I do not see as man sees. Where you saw a flaw to be masked, I saw a space reserved for my glory. Where you felt the sting of a condition that isolated you, I felt the pull of my love wanting to draw you closer. Remember those evenings when the house was quiet and you sat on the edge of your bed, your hands trembling as you reached for the medication or the bandages, or perhaps just clutched your side in a grief that had no name. I was sitting there with you. I was counting every tear that fell onto your lap, not one of them wasted, each one a seed planted in the soil of this coming harvest. I watched you navigate the supermarket aisles, smiling at neighbors, while the invisible weight of your struggle threatened to pull you under. You were so brave, my child, but you were never meant to be brave alone. The healing I am pouring into you now is reaching into those specific moments of exhaustion. It is mending the cellular structures that grew weary from the stress of concealment. Think of the way a river carves a path through stone. My grace is carving a new path through your identity. You are no longer the one with the ailment, or the one who hides. You are the one who is being rebuilt from the inside out. Consider the intricate design of your being, the millions of connections I fashioned before you drew your first breath. I am recalibrating them now. I am speaking to the blood that flows through your veins, telling it to carry life and vitality to every extremity. I am speaking to the nerves that once vibrated with anxiety or pain, commanding them to be still and know that I am God. There were moments when you looked at others and felt a pang of envy for their effortless health, their unburdened smiles. You wondered why this cup did not pass from you. I want you to know that your path, though steep and rugged, has led you to a vantage point that few will ever reach. Your empathy has been sharpened in the fire. Your capacity to love has been expanded by the very thing you thought would destroy it. And now, as the healing takes hold, you will find that the hidden thing has lost its power to shame you. The mirror will no longer be an enemy. When you look at your reflection, you will see a warrior returning from a long campaign, battle-worn but victorious. Look at the way your hands move now. There is a grace there that wasn't there before. Listen to the rhythm of your heart. It beats with the cadence of my own. You are transitioning from the season of survival to the season of flourishing. Do not rush this transition. Savor the sensation of your strength returning. Notice the small things, the way the sunlight feels on your skin without the filter of your worry, the way food tastes sweeter now that the bitterness of your secret is gone. Think back to the social gatherings where you felt like an imposter, holding your breath, hoping no one would notice the tremor or the pallor or the way you favored one side. I was the one whispering peace into your ear, giving you the strength to stand when you wanted to collapse. Now, I am taking that same strength and transforming it. It is no longer the strength of endurance. It is the strength of exhilaration. I am opening doors you thought were permanently locked. I am giving you back the hobbies you abandoned and the dreams you shelved because you thought your condition made them impossible. You will walk through the park and feel the earth rising up to meet your stride. You will wake up in the morning and for the first time in years, the first thought in your mind will not be, "How will I manage the pain?" But what wonders will we see today? This is the beauty of my restoration. It doesn't just put you back where you were, it elevates you to where you were always meant to be. I am the great physician, but I am also your father. I care about the minutiae of your recovery. I care about the way your breathing has slowed into a steady, rhythmic peace. I care about the light returning to your eyes, a light that speaks of secrets surrendered and burdens broken. The world often demands a public accounting of our struggles, but I am the God of the secret place. I worked in the dark, in the hidden parts of your physical and emotional being, long before the evidence of your healing became visible to others. It was in those quiet watches of the night, when you thought I was silent, that I was doing my most profound work. I was knitting together the frayed edges of your spirit. I was reinforcing the foundations of your faith. You are a living testament to the fact that nothing is ever truly lost in my hands. Every moment of suffering you endured is being repurposed into a source of comfort for others who are still trapped in their own prisons of secrecy. You will be a beacon. You will be a sign and a wonder. Can you feel the warmth spreading through your limbs? That is the touch of my spirit, verifying that the work is deep, thorough, and eternal. I am not just patching you up, I am recreating you. The fear that used to tighten your throat is dissolving like mist in the sun. In its place, I am planting a song of deliverance that will rise from your lips in the most unexpected moments. You will find yourself humming as you do the chores that used to feel like mountains. You will find yourself laughing at things that once seemed trivial, because the joy of the Lord has become your strength. This is just the beginning of our walk together in the light. We have so much more to do, and your newfound wholeness is the platform from which you will launch into the purpose I have for you. Do not be afraid of the health that is now yours. Do not wait for the other shoe to drop, for my goodness is not a fleeting visitor. It is your permanent resident. We are walking into a landscape where your secret is no longer a source of pain, but a bridge to my heart. Step out onto the porch now. Feel the morning air as it greets you with a crispness you haven't truly tasted in years. For so long, your senses were dulled, filtered through the thick haze of your secret struggle. You lived your life in a sort of grayscale, moving through the motions of your routine, while a significant portion of your heart was constantly occupied with managing the hidden weight. Remember the Tuesday afternoons in the library, how you would sit among the stacks of books, not to read, but simply to hide. You felt that if you were still enough, the thrumming of your condition would go unnoticed by the world. You were afraid that if someone looked too closely into your eyes, they would see the fragility behind the iris, the way your very soul seemed to be fraying at the edges. But look at your hands now, beloved. Notice the stillness. There is no tremor, no coldness, no phantom ache. The blood flows through your veins with a steady, purposeful rhythm, carrying life to every extremity. I have reached into the deepest marrow, into the hidden chambers where the shadows used to congregate, and I have filled those spaces with my light. Think back to the many times you stood in the grocery store aisle, staring at a simple box of tea, paralyzed by a sudden wave of fatigue or a spike of the very symptom you feared most. You would grip the handle of the cart until your knuckles turned white, praying that no one would stop to chat, that you wouldn't have to perform the role of the healthy person while you felt like you were crumbling inside. Those days are gone. They are like a garment that has been outgrown and discarded. When you walk through those aisles now, I want you to walk with your head held high. I want you to smile at the cashier, not as a mask to hide behind, but as an overflow of the joy that is now your reality. Do you remember the old oak tree at the edge of the park? The one where you used to sit and watch the runners, feeling a bitter pang of envy that you immediately suppressed with guilt? I want you to go back to that tree. This time, I want you to be the one who moves. I want you to feel the strength of your muscles, the way your lungs expand with an ease that feels like a miracle in every breath, because it is. This healing is not just a repair of the physical, it is a restoration of your dignity. You spent so much energy trying to appear normal that you forgot how to be extraordinary. I am calling you back to the extraordinary. You have been refined in a fire that few ever see, and the gold that has emerged is of the purest quality. Your secret was a prison, but I have used the stones of that prison to build a lighthouse. Think of the way you used to avoid the phone when it rang, fearing that a friend would ask to meet for a walk or a meal, and you wouldn't have the strength to say yes or the courage to say why you couldn't. Now, I want you to be the one who reaches out. I want you to call the ones you distanced yourself from. You don't have to explain everything all at once, unless you feel my spirit prompting you, but you can let them bask in the warmth of the new person you have become. There is a specific woman you see at the bus stop every morning, the one with the tired eyes and the scarf pulled tight against her chin. You have noticed her before, but you were too consumed by your own hidden battle to offer more than a nod. Next time, look at her. Really look at her. You will see a reflection of your former self, and in that moment my love will surge through you. You will know that your journey through the valley of the shadow was not a detour, it was a training ground. I was teaching you the language of the unheard. I was giving you ears to hear the cries that are never spoken aloud. This is why I didn't just fix you in an instant years ago. I waited for the moment when the healing would mean the most, when it would not just change your body, but transform your entire purpose. Can you feel the heat in your chest? That is the fire of my love burning away the last vestiges of shame. Shame is a parasite that feeds on secrets, but it cannot survive in the atmosphere of my grace. You are clean. You are whole. You are vibrant. Every cell in your body is resonating with a new frequency, the frequency of heaven. You might find yourself wanting to run, or to sing, or simply to weep with the sheer relief of it. Do all of those things. Let the emotions wash over you like a summer rain. I am right here, walking beside you, holding your hand as we step into this new landscape. The path ahead is not one of fear and concealment, but of transparency and power. We are going to places you never dreamed you could go. We are going to touch lives you thought were beyond your reach. Your health is a gift, but your story is a weapon against the darkness that tells people they are alone in their suffering. You are the proof that the light always wins. You are the evidence of my enduring faithfulness. As the sun climbs higher in the sky today, let it remind you that your period of darkness has ended. The dawn is here, and it is more beautiful than you ever imagined. Stand up now. Do you feel the strength in your knees? Do you feel the absence of that phantom weight that has governed every movement of your day for a decade? Take a breath, a deep, full breath that reaches the very bottom of your lungs, past the place where the tightness used to live. For years, you lived in shallow sips of air, as if you were afraid to take up too much space in a world that felt fragile and unforgiving. No more. The constriction is gone. Think back to that small, cluttered room where you spent so many nights weeping in the dark, clutching your side, convinced that the silence of the night was the only witness to your decay. I was there. I was catching every tear, not just as a silent observer, but as the one holding the blueprint of your restoration. You thought you were protecting your reputation by hiding your weakness, weaving a web of excuses to avoid the gaze of the curious, but I was protecting your spirit, refining it in the crucible of endurance. Remember the way you used to scan every room for an exit, just in case the symptoms flared. Notice how your eyes now seek out the people who are hiding just like you were. You have acquired a new kind of vision, a divine perception. You can see the slight wince behind a colleague's cheerful greeting. You can spot the dullness in the eyes of the stranger at the market who is losing hope. You are no longer a victim of your biology. You are a pioneer of my grace. I am stripping away the layers of the sick person identity you wore like a heavy, waterlogged coat. It served as a shield once, a way to explain away your fears, but now it is only a weight you no longer need to carry. Walk with me to the mirror. Look at the person looking back at you. That is not the face of a survivor who is barely clinging to life. That is the face of a conqueror who has walked through the fire and emerged without the smell of smoke. The lines of worry around your mouth have softened, replaced by the subtle, indestructible curve of a peace that defies logic. You will go back to your office, to the grocery store, to the family gatherings where you used to feel like an imposter, and they will see the difference before you even speak a word. They will ask what happened, noticing the light in your skin and the clarity in your voice, and for the first time, you won't have to deflect. You won't have to invent a story to cover your fragility. You will speak the truth, and as the words leave your lips, you will feel the last chains of the past snap. Your voice will not tremble. Your hands will be steady as you reach out to touch the very things you once feared. I want you to remember the specific smell of the hospital corridors you frequented in secret, the coldness of the linoleum, the sterile scent of antiseptic that became the backdrop of your private terror. Contrast that now with the fragrance of the morning air, the scent of blooming jasmine and damp earth rising to meet the sun. This is the world I made for you to enjoy, not just to endure. We are going to visit the places that used to trigger your anxiety. We are going to walk through the crowded mall, sit in the bustling theater, and hike the steep trails you watched others climb from a distance while you sat in the car, heart heavy with longing. Every step you take is a declaration of victory. Every laugh that bubbles up from your belly, unforced and resonant, is a taunt to the darkness that told you that you would never be happy again. I am weaving your broken pieces into a tapestry of such intricate beauty that the scars themselves will look like threads of gold. Do you remember the friend you lost touch with because you were too tired to explain why you couldn't show up? I am giving you the courage to reach out again, not to apologize for your weakness, but to celebrate your new strength. You are a living testament to the fact that I am still in the business of doing the impossible. Your life is becoming a lighthouse, casting a beam far out into the stormy seas of other people's despair. When they see you, they will see hope made flesh. They will think, if it happened for them, maybe it can happen for me. And you will be there to tell them that I am no respecter of persons, that my love is an overflowing fountain available to all who thirst. The shame you felt about your condition, the way you felt broken or defective compared to those around you, was a lie whispered by the enemy of your soul. He wanted to keep you isolated because isolation is the enemy's playground. But I have brought you out into the wide-open space of my favor. There are no walls here. There are no secrets here. There is only the warmth of my presence and the limitless horizon of your future. Let's talk about the dreams you tucked away in a drawer, the ones you labeled not for me because of your physical limitations. It's time to take them out and dust them off. That trip you wanted to take, the career move you felt you couldn't handle, the relationships you were afraid to deepen because you didn't want to be a burden, all of these are now within your grasp. I'm not just giving you back your health. I am giving you back your life, with interest. The years the locusts have eaten are being restored to you in a single season of abundance. You might feel a lingering instinct to protect yourself today, to brace for the pain that isn't coming. When that happens, just stop and feel my hand on your shoulder. Lean into the reality of your healing. It is not a temporary reprieve. It is a permanent shift in your very existence. You are grounded in a different soil now. Your roots go deep into the river of life. As you go through this day, I want you to practice being seen. Don't hide behind your hair or your oversized clothes. Lift your chin. Let the world look at you. You have nothing to hide and everything to give. Your transparency will be your greatest asset. When you tell someone, I used to struggle with this too and I thought it was the end, you are handing them a key to their own prison cell. You are a jailbreaker now. We are going to liberate many souls together. You and I, the exhaustion that used to settle in your bones by noon is gone, replaced by an energy that doesn't come from caffeine or adrenaline, but from the Holy Spirit. It is a sustainable fire. It is the joy of the Lord, which is your strength. Feel the rhythm of your heart, steady, strong, and full of purpose. It beats for me, and it beats for the world I love. We are just getting started, my child. The dawn was just the beginning. The full day lies ahead, and it is more glorious than the stars. Do you remember the way you used to walk, scanning the perimeter of every room for a place to sit, or a corner where the shadows might swallow your trembling? That map of exits and hiding spots you drew in your mind is being erased. I am replacing it with a map of presence. Watch your hands now. Look at them as you hold this cup of tea. There is no vibration of fear, no stutter of the nerves that once made you feel like a broken instrument. The silence in your nervous system is my signature written in your marrow. I want you to walk into the garden this morning, not just to look at the flowers, but to recognize yourself in them. You spent so many years thinking you were the withered vine, the one that would never bear fruit, the one that took up space without contributing to the harvest. But I have grafted you into the true vine. The sap that flows through you now is the same life that raised my son from the grave. It is a resilient, defiant life. When you walk into the market later today, notice the shift in your posture. You used to hunch forward, a physical manifestation of the secret you carried. The what if they find out I am failing that whispered in your ear. Now I am pulling your shoulders back. I am lengthening your neck. I am making you a monument of my mercy. You will see people you haven't spoken to in years, people who remember the gray cast of your skin and the way your eyes always darted away. Let them see the color in your cheeks. Let them see the clarity in your gaze. You don't have to explain the mechanics of the miracle to everyone. You only have to be the miracle. Your very existence is a sermon that speaks of a God who remembers the forgotten. Think of the clothes you chose this morning. For the first time, you didn't choose based on what would conceal the swelling or the bandages or the marks of your struggle. You chose what felt like joy. This is a small thing to the world, but to me, it is a liturgy of praise. Every button you fastened was an act of worship. Every step you take onto the pavement is a claim of territory for my kingdom. You are no longer a refugee in your own body. You are the rightful occupant, and I am the architect who has finished the renovations. I see the way you still catch yourself holding your breath, waiting for the old pain to strike like a snake in the grass. When that happens, I want you to exhale deeply. Breathe out the memory of the trauma. Breathe in the oxygen of this new atmosphere. Your lungs were designed for this air, not the stale, heavy atmosphere of the sick room. I am retraining your brain to expect goodness. For so long, your normal was a state of high alert, a constant vigil against the next flare-up. I am lowering the drawbridge of your heart. You are safe. You are whole. The walls you built to protect your vulnerability are being repurposed into altars. Remember the nights you spent crying out in the dark, wondering if I had forgotten your name. I was there, collecting every tear as if it were a diamond. Not one was wasted. They are the seeds of the compassion you are about to pour out on others. When you meet the woman at the park who looks the way you used to look, hollowed out, pretending to be fine while her world is crumbling, you won't just offer her a platitude. You will offer her your hand, and she will feel the warmth of my life passing through you to her. You are a conductor of the divine current. Let us talk about the dreams you tucked away in the attic of your soul, the ones you labeled impossible because of your condition. Go up there now. Dust them off. That desire to travel, to dance, to teach, to build, none of it was a mistake. I planted those seeds when I knit you together in your mother's womb, knowing exactly when the rain would come to make them grow. This is the season of the rain. The drought is over. The parched ground of your potential is becoming a lush meadow. Do not be afraid of the scope of what I am asking you to do. I am not asking you to do it in the strength of your old, weary self. I am asking you to do it in the power of the one who says, "Behold, I make all things new." Even your memories are being healed. I am going back through the timeline of your life, touching every moment where you felt defined by your limitation. I am rewriting the narrative. Where the enemy wrote victim, I am writing victor. Where the world wrote defective, I am writing masterpiece. You are not a survivor of your illness. You are an overcomer who has been refined in the fire and come out looking like gold. The shine on you today is not superficial. It is the glow of a soul that has looked into the face of God and found only love. Stay with me in this moment. Do not rush into the what's next. The healing is found in the right now. It is found in the way your toes feel against the cool floor. It is found in the lack of that familiar throb behind your eyes. It is found in the peace that surpasses all understanding, which is currently guarding your heart and your mind. You are a living testimony that the grave has no power and that restoration is the heartbeat of my kingdom. We are walking together, step by step, out of the shadows and into the noonday sun. The path is clear, the way is prepared, and I am holding your hand with a grip that will never let go. Feel the surge of my affection for you. It is more vast than the oceans and more intimate than your own heartbeat. You are my pride and my joy, and today, the universe watches in awe as you finally, truly live. Look at the mirror again, but this time, don't look for the flaws or the signs of decay. Look for the light I have placed in your pupils. That light is not just a reflection, it is an internal radiance. You used to avoid mirrors because they reminded you of the betrayal of your own biology. Now let the mirror be a place of encounter. See yourself as I see you, unblemished, vibrant, and bursting with life. I am healing your mind from the habits of sickness. The way you used to plan your days around your limitations is a habit we are breaking together. Instead of saying, I can't because, you will start saying, I can because he is. The transition may feel strange at first, like learning a new language or walking on legs that have finally found their strength, but trust the process. I am with you in the awkwardness as much as I am in the triumph. Your voice, too, is being restored. The whisper you used to hide behind is becoming a clear, resonant tone. You have a story to tell that only you can tell, a melody that has been composed in the furnace of affliction. When you sing, or even when you speak a simple greeting, there will be an authority in your voice that wasn't there before. It is the authority of one who has been to the edge of the valley of the shadow of death and walked out the other side. Do not fear the future, my beloved. The future is not a dark corridor. It is a bright field waiting for your footprint. Every place the sole of your foot treads I have given to you. Take back the territory the enemy stole. Take back your time, your relationships, and your peace. I am standing at the door of your heart, not just as a guest, but as the king who has come to reclaim his palace. Everything is being made right. Everything is being made new. The weight of the world that once crushed you has been lifted, and in its place, I have given you my easy yoke and my light burden. Rest in this. Flourish in this. This is your inheritance, and I am delighted to give it to you. Look at your hands. For so long, you have kept them clenched or hidden in your pockets, afraid that if you opened them, the world would see the weakness you have carried. You were convinced that your value was tied to a perfection you could never quite grasp, believing that if the truth of your condition were known, the love of those around you would wither like grass in the heat of noon. But I have always known. I was there in the long nights when the pain was a dull roar in the background of your thoughts, a constant companion that whispered lies about your future. I watched as you meticulously built a life around your limitations, creating a labyrinth of safety to ensure no one would ever stumble upon your struggle. Today, that labyrinth is being dismantled. The walls you built to protect yourself have become a prison, and I am the one who walks through walls. Feel the warmth of my presence now, not as a fleeting emotion, but as a physical reality settling into the marrow of your bones. That hidden place, that secret thorn that has pierced your side for years, is being touched by the fingers of the one who knit you together in your mother's womb. I am not just patching you up. I am restructuring the very essence of your being. Can you feel the tension leaving your shoulders? Can you sense the rhythm of your heart aligning with the heartbeat of heaven? This is not a temporary reprieve. It is a total reclamation. You have spent years calculating every step, measuring the cost of every movement, wondering if today would be the day the mask finally slipped. But I tell you, you can take the mask off now. You don't need it where we are going. We are stepping out into the open air, where the wind of my spirit can blow across your face without any barrier. Remember the way you used to avoid the sunlight because it felt too revealing. Now you will seek the light, for it will only serve to highlight the work I have done. Your skin, your strength, your very breath are being infused with a vitality that is not of this world. It is the life force of the resurrection, the same power that rolled away the stone, and it is working in you right now. You will find yourself doing things you had crossed off your list of possibilities. You will reach for the high shelf without thinking. You will walk the long path through the woods and forget to check your breathing. You will sit in the company of others and be fully present, no longer distracted by the internal monitoring of your symptoms. This freedom is yours. It is a quiet miracle, one that may not make the headlines of the world, but it is written in the stars of your personal history. I am taking the shame out of your vocabulary and replacing it with testimony. When people look at you, they will sense a peace they cannot explain, a stability that defies the chaos of the age. They will ask you what has changed, and you will not have to search for words. Your very existence will be the answer. I am drawing you deeper into this intimacy, where no secret is a burden and no weakness is a disqualification. You are my masterpiece in progress, and the strokes I am making today are bold and beautiful. I am painting over the gray areas of your life with colors you have forgotten how to name. The vibrancy is returning. The pulse of joy is quickening. Do not be startled by the suddenness of it. I have been preparing the soil of your heart for this harvest for a long time. The winter was long and the frost bit deep, but the spring has arrived with an unstoppable force. Consider the small things you have forfeited, the tiny joys you set aside because they felt too heavy for your spirit to carry. Think of the invitations you declined with a polite smile, while inside, your heart was breaking because you didn't think you could endure the scrutiny. I was there in those moments of isolation. I sat with you in the quiet of your living room when the shadows grew long and you wondered if this was all there would ever be. I saw you trace the lines of your palm, looking for a sign of change, a glimmer of hope that the hidden ache would finally subside. That ache has been your tutor, teaching you a compassion for the broken that many will never understand, but its tenure in your life has come to an end. It has finished its work, and now I am dismissing it. I am replacing that tutor with a comforter who never leaves. Feel the lightness in your hands now. It is as if the gravity that once pulled at your every limb has been halved. You are tethered to heaven, not to the earth and its ailments. I am rewriting your story, line by line, removing the footnotes of despair and replacing them with exclamations of praise. You used to wake up and immediately perform a mental inventory of your pain, checking to see how much of yourself you would have to sacrifice to get through the day. From this moment on, your first thought will be of my presence. You will wake up and feel the cool breeze of my peace before you even open your eyes. The kitchen, where you once stood in silence, trying to summon the strength to start the kettle, will now be a sanctuary of gratitude. Even the mundane tasks, the folding of laundry, the sorting of mail, will be infused with a sense of wonder because you are doing them without the shadow of your secret hanging over you. You are no longer performing, you are living. You are no longer surviving, you are reigning. I am restoring the years the locusts have eaten, the years you spent in the dark, thinking you were alone in your struggle. You were never alone. I was the silent partner in your endurance, and now I am the visible partner in your victory. This healing is reaching into the deep crevices of your memories, soothing the parts of your soul that were wounded by the necessity of hiding. You don't have to be ashamed of the time you spent in the valley. That valley has made the mountain air taste all the sweeter. Every tear you shed in secret was collected in my bottle, and now I am pouring them back out as a refreshing rain upon your parched soul. You will find that your capacity to love has expanded, for you no longer have to use so much of your heart just to keep yourself together. You have a surplus of grace now, a reservoir of strength that will overflow to those around you. When you encounter others who are hiding their own secrets, you will look at them with eyes that see through the masks, and you will offer them the same hope that has transformed you. You are becoming a beacon, a living proof that nothing is too far gone for my touch. The impossible is my favorite canvas. The hidden is my favorite place to shine. Do not look back at the person you were with regret, but with the honor due to a warrior who survived a long and grueling campaign. That version of you is being laid to rest, and the new creation is rising. This is the day I have made, and you will truly rejoice and be glad in it. Not because everything in the world is perfect, but because I am perfect within you. The internal discord has been resolved into a harmony that will sustain you through every season. You are my garden, and I am the gardener who has pulled up the weeds of infirmity and planted the seeds of eternal life. Watch them grow. Watch the fruit of this healing manifest in your laughter, in your sleep, and in your stride. I am not finished with the wonders I will perform in your life, but for now, just be. Just exist in the sunlight of my favor. Everything you have hidden is now covered by my glory, and in that covering, it is made whole. Can you feel the difference in the way you breathe this morning? For years, every inhalation was a negotiation with the shadow you carried, a calculated effort to draw enough air to survive without alerting the world to the suffocating weight upon your chest. You became a master of the subtle adjustment, shifting your weight to mask the hitch in your gait, tempering your laughter so it wouldn't trigger the ache you kept locked in your marrow, and choosing the seat in the far corner where the light wouldn't betray the pallor of a struggle you refused to name. But look at your hands now. They do not tremble with the secret effort of holding up a crumbling interior sky. The weight you once mistook for your own identity was merely a burden I have finally lifted, leaving you light enough to catch the wind. Do you remember the Tuesday afternoons when you would sit in your car after work, gripped by a fatigue so profound it felt like cold stone settling in your veins? You would stare at the worn leather of the steering wheel, counting the silent minutes until you had to walk through your front door and perform the role of the person who was perfectly fine. I was there in that car with you. I sat in the silence that smelled of old coffee and exhaustion. I saw the tears you wiped away with the back of your hand before your family could see them, and I heard the desperate, silent bargain you made with the empty air. Just let me get through this 1 hour, and I will ask for nothing else. That bargain is officially over. You no longer have to pay for your presence with your peace. The debt of your hidden infirmity has been canceled by my hand. Notice the small things first, for that is where my glory often chooses to dance. Notice how the steam from your morning tea no longer seems like a fog you have to fight through, but a gentle incense rising to meet a clear mind. Notice the way you can now listen to a friend speak without the background noise of your own pain drowning out their words. Before, you were like a radio tuned to 2 stations at once, the music of the world and the static of your secret suffering. Now, the static has been replaced by a deep, resonant silence, the kind of silence that precedes a great symphony. This is the restorative work of my spirit, moving through the hidden corridors of your nervous system, smoothing out the jagged edges where your thoughts used to snag and tear. You used to fear the mirror because it reflected a lie you were tired of telling. But now, when you look at your reflection, you will see a stranger becoming a friend. The lines of tension around your eyes are softening, and the tightness in your jaw, that unconscious bracing for an impact that never seemed to end, has dissolved. You are learning to occupy your own skin without wanting to flee from it. This is the miracle of integration. The hidden and the visible are becoming one. Think of the garden we spoke of. For a long time, you tried to grow flowers in soil that was laced with salt, wondering why everything withered despite your frantic watering. The salt was the secret you kept, the shame you felt for being broken, in a way no one could see. But I have washed that soil clean. I have diverted the river of my grace to flow directly through the center of your heart, flushing out the bitterness of those years spent in hiding. You will find that you no longer need to explain yourself to anyone, for the light in your eyes will be its own testimony. When you walk down the street, you are not just a person moving from one point to another. You are a mobile sanctuary. People who are carrying their own hidden thorns will be drawn to you, not because you have all the answers, but because you carry the atmosphere of the answered prayer. They will sense the after in your spirit, the quiet confidence of one who has been through the fire and emerged smelling not of smoke, but of cedar and honey. Do not be afraid of this new strength. It is not fragile. You do not have to protect this healing. It is the healing that will protect you. In the days to come, I will lead you to revisit the places where you were most afraid, the rooms where you felt the most alone, the conversations you avoided because you didn't have the energy to fake a smile. You will go back to those places, but you will find they have no power over you. They are just rooms, just words. The ghost of your condition has been exorcised by the reality of my love. I want you to pay attention to your sleep tonight. For years, sleep was a battleground or a temporary escape, a fitful reprieve from a body that felt like an enemy. Tonight, sleep will be a surrender. You will fall into the pillows and feel the safety of my everlasting arms beneath the mattress. You will wake up not with the dread of another day of masquerading, but with the curiosity of a child. What will we do today? Where shall we go? The energy that you used to spend on concealment is now being redirected into creation. You will find yourself wanting to sing again, perhaps a melody you haven't hummed since you were small and the world felt wide and kind. You will find yourself reaching out to touch the leaves of the trees, noticing the intricate patterns of the veins, marveling that the same hand that designed the forest has redesigned the inner workings of your soul. We are only at the beginning of this unfolding. The healing of your body is the doorway to the healing of your destiny. Every moment you spent in the dark was a seed being prepared for this very light. You are not a victim of lost time. You are the recipient of a redeemed life. The years the locusts have eaten are being restored in a single season of favor. Stand still for a moment and feel the warmth on your shoulders. That is not just the sun. It is the radiance of my pleasure. I am proud of you for holding on when the darkness was thickest, and I am delighted to be the one who finally turns on the light. As you open your eyes this morning, do you notice the stillness? Not the heavy silence of an empty house, but the vibrant, humming peace of a body that has finally laid down its weapons. For years, your first thought upon waking was a checklist of your limitations. You would scan your limbs, your chest, the secret places where the ache resided, measuring how much energy you had to borrow from your future just to survive the next hour. You became a master of the subtle adjustment, the way you leaned against a wall to take the weight off your hip, the way you timed your breaths so no one would see the wince that threatened to break your composure. I saw you in the break room at work, clutching that ceramic mug not for the warmth of the tea, but to steady the hand you were terrified would betray you. I saw you at the dinner table with your family, laughing at a joke, while your internal world was a storm of static and fire. You thought you were protecting them from your burden, but I was the one carrying both you and the weight you refused to name. Now, look at your hands. Move your fingers. There is no resistance, no ghost of the sharpness that used to dictate your movements. This morning, the floorboards don't feel like a challenge to be navigated. They are simply a path leading you into a world you have only ever observed from the sidelines. Do you remember the blue armchair in the corner of your room? For 3 years, it was your fortress and your prison. You sat there watching the seasons change through the glass, memorizing the way the rain tracked down the pane because you didn't have the strength to step into it. Today, I want you to walk past that chair. Do not even look at it as a place of retreat. You are no longer the one who hides. I am taking the secret out of your story and replacing it with a sign. People will look at you and wonder what has changed, for the light in your eyes is no longer filtered through the veil of endurance. It is the raw, unadulterated glow of a soul that has been kissed by its creator. You spent so much time crafting a persona that was fine, a brittle shell that could shatter at any moment. I have replaced that shell with a spirit that is supple and strong. Feel the air in your lungs. It goes deeper than it has since you were 10 years old, running through the tall grass without a thought for the mechanics of breathing. This is the breath of life I breathed into the first clay, and I am breathing it into you again. You are a living miracle, a walking testimony of what happens when the great physician decides to do a deep work in the hidden valleys. The condition you feared would eventually consume you has been dissolved like mist in the rising sun. It didn't just leave, it was transmuted. The very area where you felt the most broken is now becoming the source of your greatest power. You will find yourself speaking to others with an authority you didn't possess before, for you are not talking about a theory of hope, but the reality of a touch that reordered your DNA. There was a moment, 6 months ago, when you sat on the edge of your bed in the middle of the night, tears streaming down your face in the dark, and you whispered, "Is this all there is?" You thought the silence was an answer, but the silence was my hand moving over the waters of your chaos, preparing the new creation. I was not ignoring you, I was incubating you. The pain was not a punishment, though the enemy whispered that it was. It was a cocoon that has now burst open. As you step out today, you will notice the colors of the world seem more saturated. The green of the grass will look more vibrant, the sky a more piercing shade of blue. This is not because the world has changed, but because your eyes are no longer clouded by the fog of chronic survival. You have transitioned from surviving to thriving, from hiding to being beheld. I want you to go to that place you used to avoid, the park with the steep hill, the grocery store where the lights felt too bright, the gathering where you always felt like an outsider looking in. Go there and simply exist. You don't have to do anything spectacular. Your existence itself is the spectacle. I am enjoying the way you are discovering yourself. It is like watching a flower bloom in fast forward. Every step you take is a prayer of thanksgiving, and every time you realize a certain pain is gone, I smile, for I have been waiting for this day longer than you have. We are reauthoring your biography. The chapters labeled The Hidden Struggle and The Long Night are finished. The ink is dry. We are now in the section entitled The Resurrection Season. And I tell you truly, the beauty of this part of your story will be so profound that the memory of the struggle will become like a dream that fades upon waking, still there, but powerless to hurt you. Think of the things you stopped dreaming about because they required a body you didn't think you would ever have again. That trip across the mountains, the garden you wanted to plant but couldn't bend down to tend, the children you wanted to chase through the sprinklers. Those dreams were not discarded, they were simply held in trust. I kept them safe for you in the palm of my hand, and now I am handing them back to you, one by one. You will find that your capacity for joy has expanded. Because you have known the depth of the valley, you will appreciate the height of the mountain in a way those who have never stumbled cannot comprehend. Your empathy has become a superpower. When you look at someone else who is masquerading, you will see through the mask, not with judgment, but with a knowing compassion that can only come from a survivor. I am going to use your restored strength to lift others, but for today, simply focus on the wonder of being lifted yourself. Feel the rhythm of your heart. It is steady, strong, and beat for beat, it is singing my name. You are mine, and I have made you whole. Do not be afraid of the health. Do not wait for the other shoe to drop. There is no other shoe. There is only the path ahead, paved with my goodness and mercy. Take a deep breath. Now take another. Notice how it doesn't hurt. That is the sound of freedom. We have so much ground to cover, and I am right here beside you, delighted by every painless step you take.